Right guys, back again. Finn, back in action as right boy. Now, as you may notice, there's been a slight move. Big baits. Keith, how's it going? I've moved spots, right? I was up talking to Shane and Paddy there. Shane actually had a small tourney first cast. But like he said, it wasn't worth going running down for. Tim, he had a small tourney first cast, but he said he fished here yesterday evening as well. And he said there was no crab action at all. And today he said it's really bad. So is the increased crab action making a show of us? I don't know. He had a small ray though, so that's a good thing. Seamus, how's it going? So he has had a small ray. So hopes are high that we can nab one here. I've moved spots and this is going to let me fish a bit longer. Hopefully it'll be worth it as well. So I've moved down near the entrance there, for most guys will know it. So I just want to get this bait out quick. Eels and crabs on this one. Right. Ooh. So for anybody who missed that one, nothing by me, Finton man. Well, I had a couple of bass early doors, but that's about it. The lads have had a small ray. It can be Brendan, sorry. It's definitely a longer cast to get out onto the channel from here. But I'm using your dad's advice of the warm sand. So hopefully the fish are in on top of this warm sand. Because that would have all cleared out at low water. Excuse me. What the lads have said though is they're getting destroyed with crab up on the other spot as well. And I was getting a lot of crab action myself. When I reeled in the 3 rods, the 3-hook flapper had three crab on it. One bitey one. So I'm gonna continue the plan though of having the shorter cast as well. And just see if there's something around for that. I'm gonna get a better macro bait though. Like I said, Shane did have a ray immediately. So he reckoned only 3 or 4 minutes after he cast, he had a bit of a run and a small turn back. So hopefully there's a couple around for us. He fished last night, he had 2 rays and he had a run off of a right good fish, which he thinks was a big stinger. But it got over his other line and snapped. He ended up cutting, the 2 of them got really badly frayed and he ended up losing the fish unfortunately. So hopefully he gets one today. He's going to give me a shout if he gets something decent so we can give a run up and actually see a fish. Like I said, where I've moved to here just means I can fish for a bit longer and hopefully get a fish out of it. So there is. It makes it all the more frustrating to have lost that fish on the first cast up the top. But look, all we can do is give it an hour here, and it's certainly not for the want of trying. that we haven't got a ray on the board yet. Get this good mackerel bait out again now. It's certainly a more shallow area. Sorry if I keep forgetting that where we are. They were small bass, to be fair though. So, nice enough little mackerel bait there. Get that one on the multiplier, get it out a bit. Derrymore, man, I'd love to get to Derrymore. There's a place that I can go to across the way, which is similar enough. It wouldn't be as good, but if I can get there at all, I'll let you know. It might have to be an old-fashioned kind of video though. Hopefully old-fashioned as in there's plenty of fish in it. That's 2 rods out. Try and get this leveled up so I can Derrymore. It's actually close enough to me. I think it's about 6.5 kilometers to get to the road, and I think it's like you're talking. They're splitting hairs. If you were cheeky, you'd get away with it. So we'll see how we get on. But I think we have that wind for a couple of days, so it may not even be worth it. I'm going to get that 3-hook flapper back out again with the slightly smaller hooks, because I really want to get a few fish for everyone that's come in to watch or come back to watch. I didn't change anything on it. It's gone live again there. I'm just hoping that the coverage is just as good down here as it was above. It should be better theoretically, but sure, since when did that ever happen for us? But I think if I don't get a ray today, I'm going to get out tomorrow in the estuary and hopefully smash a load of fish. instead. Or else I might try and see how can I get a bit further afield, well, across the way further. Slightly there now. Get you. Yeah, it's Lisa, how's it going? Jason, high tide I think is around 8 p.m, but we won't make it till then. We'd have to be in the entrance at that stage. So I'm gonna put out crab bait on this. I'm gonna stick a few lug on it again. That I can't get to Phoenix, man. I need 10 kilometers to get to Phoenix. Would you believe the rock armor in Phoenix is exactly 10 kilometers from my door, or from my back garden? It's exactly 10 kilometers from my back garden, but the actual drive to go onto the pier, the entrance to the pier, is 10:02, I think, or something. So I'm sure no one would complain for 200 meters or so. Well, probably would, but I don't want anybody listening. Richard, how's it going? Thanks very much, man. Like I was saying, for anybody that is subscribed, make sure you hit the bell on the for the notifications. I won't be putting up a load of stuff plaguing people, and you can tell me if I am. So, but you'll be able to see when I go live. Start again there. For every video shared really helps the channel. So, it's a great thing like that. Hi, how's it going? How are you doing? So, like I said, for every video that gets shared really helps the channel. Because the more guys that share it, obviously the few views here and there, and the comments on the videos as well. Like, even if it's only a small thing just to say hello, it all means more interaction, which makes the YouTube put my videos out a bit further, so that people might see them a bit more. So all interaction is good interaction. So I have a couple of lugs on that one now, or sorry, a couple of crab baits on that, and I'm going to put two lugs on the bottom. They could, yeah. Do you know what? Like, I'm in the railway, and I've met a good few of the guards, and they seem to be sound enough about things these days. Like, if you're not acting the maggot too much, like they don't want to be tormenting people over, or well, some of them do, I suppose, but the vast majority of lads don't want to be getting a hassle. So once I play ball, I suppose. So you might be wondering, my thinking behind the way the rods are set up is the closest rod to me is the distance rod, so that's the furthest out. This one, then the bigger rod, is just, there's a line of weed outside here, and it's just outside that, a bit closer for a bass or so, and that'll be the bottom one, because I'm not expecting too much action on that. The big one is the one that's going to be, yeah, Dave, what do I have to put into the brown envelope? I wonder if a couple of flapper rigs do anything for me. But so I'm going to put the smaller rod further out, because that's going to be the least valuable rod. It's going to be fishing for the smaller fish, so I don't have to worry about that so much. But if the two ones go close in, I want to be able to get to them quick. Now, so I don't know, you probably won't be able to see it on the. Yeah, Kevin, do you know what though? I've got 20 pound snoods on him though, so if I do get a big one on the small baits, it'll be a bit of fun. I don't know if you can see just outside here. Probably there now is a bit better angle on it. There's a black line running along the water, and that's a bank of seaweed. So I put that small one just on the other side of the bank, hoping that the bass or a ray or something will be feeding up the opposite side of the weeds. And hopefully he's hungry for what we have. Shane was saying that his mackerel baits are getting stripped out really quickly up above as well. That's a pain in the neck. And other places that it's not okay to say. Where did I put my other trace? The up and over rig is proving the most elusive of all the rigs. So it is. Hi Philip, yeah man, I like that's what the good thing about the comments are, is that if you let me know kind of what you're interested in and learning. Like some guys have been collecting peelers since they were 10 and 11 years of age. Other guys are newer to the sport or just never really used peelers. Like I said, some guys have been collecting peelers for years and years. Other guys never use them because they're just not that prominent in their area. So ideas like this, like that, are always welcome, and I'll put it on the list of videos. That's one of the ones that's easier to do as well, because I can do it within the 5 kilometers of home. What I have noticed though is I've lost my windsock. So this is my very fancy windsock from my Michael Jackson inspired glove. I don't know where it came from, but when you give people drives after competitions, you always get a few goodies out of the back of the car. Sometimes it's fin and it's crumbs off a jambon. Other times you get loads of stuff. James, yeah guys, for anybody who was looking at the papers yesterday, there was a massive poor beagle washed up in Derrymore, which is just across the way from us. Oh yeah, Keith, no problem. Sorry, I'll start again there. I think about 8 or 9 years ago, there was a poor beagle shark, or there was a good sized shark in and around the bay, and it was feeding very, like, the assumption was that the poor beagle was in feeding on the rays, because they were easy targets for them, because they'd be much faster than any ray, and they could just come in and fill up no problem. And another guy that I know said that it was very unlikely because the salinity in the bay wouldn't be enough. But it was after about 4 or 5 weeks of settled weather that time that the poor beagle came into the shore, or came in close, and a couple of guys from Flounder even hooked it on the boat, and it towed them around a good bit. So if you remember, the last 4 or 5 weeks have also been very, very calm and very nice weather. So that tells me that that poor beagle may well have been in doing a bit of hunting. So it is. Kevin, poor enough today. A few bass at the start, but I've moved areas, so I'm hoping to pick up a ray here. So I am. Barry, I see you there about the about the hounds. I heard that the North Dublin beaches are stacked with hounds. So, a bit of information there for anybody in and around Dublin. You'll have to give Rory a shout in Swords. He was telling me about it. He said there's mackerel in Dunleary and there's hounds in the North Dublin beaches. So it would be very cool to hook something a bit bigger, but it'd be at this point now I'd be happy with anything. So I'm going to peel a couple of crab though, because if I do get a run of fish, I don't want to be left short. And by peel ones, I've very sneakily took the ones that just need to be helped out of the shell rather than peeled. Finn, the baits or the traces are ordered. They've arrived. I got them off Mike Sherwood there, guys. For anybody that wants to get, he's up the north there, the offshore angler, and you'll find his site fairly handy. But I got some traces down. They really look good. Barry, man, you'll have to give him. That's only a couple of hours down from you, I'd say, is it? How long will it take you to get to North Dublin, Barry? Oh, that's one crab helped out of his shell. But I have been overwhelmed with the support lately, guys, on the channel, and the amount of people that are enjoying it and things like that. One of the lads from Tralee, 2 hours, that's not a bother to you. Noel, how's it going, man? You're in a prime spot for a bit of fishing. Barry, 2 hours is nothing. But I really can't wait to get a bit more range into the fishing. Finn, I don't have any bluey in the shed, man, to be honest. I don't really like them for down here, though. I'd like them for the Shannon now, alright. If I was going up for a raise in the Shannon, I'd like to have a few blueys in the bucket. But other than that, Noel, I'm hoping for a ray. This one has a big crab bait on the left, sorry, over here. The middle one has a big bait on, a big mackerel bait on. And the right hand side one is the one that's hopefully going to keep us entertained with a few fish. But like I was saying, I'm delighted with the support for the channel. One of the lads that watches a bit of the channel messaged me to say that he had a stinger, his first ever stinger, and he got it after watching all the videos and all the hints and tricks that he picked up. So I have to say I was really happy with that. Paul, you do get stingers on Capel Clough and places like that. Personally, of them, sorry, I might have dropped off there. I think that there is a lot of stingers around the place. You just have to get them at the right time. Very few people actually fish on Capel Clough, would you believe? So they just don't bother with the place. But I love fishing there myself. So I do. But there's definitely stingers there. I've had one myself in a competition there, and during the pairs on the last day a couple of years ago, there was a massive one out in front of me, and I wanted with all my heart to fish for it, except we were winning the competition, so all I needed to do was get in the top 5, so I couldn't go and throw it all away trying to get a big stinger and worry maybe someone else would pick him up. So I just watched this big black shape swim over out in front of me for about a half an hour before it finally headed away off, when everyone was casting over him fishing for dogs. Definitely a 30-pound stinger. But Neville Charlesworth won the zone that day. But I was very happy. I think I was third in the zone, and I managed to win the pairs. So that was better than most feelings. So it was. I think that small rod might have been doing a bit of dancing there for us. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get that one in now and see if was there anything viewing on it. Any joy? Yeah, it's too low water. Yeah,
it's really pulling the lures.
Yeah, I tried yesterday, but I was looking gainers.
Okay.
I don't want touch, but I think it might have taken the back of the eel just.
Yeah.
I reckon this is
I know, this really hit it. I know I had it. But...
Yeah. No, I don't want. Yeah. After a while, everything feels like fish.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Oh my god. Do you remember how I was saying I put it over just over the other side of the bank? That was a tough enough. But what line I was using, the last I don't know why I said I heard it. I read there. That's the ASO tapered line that I was just pulling there rather recklessly. It's the 15 to 60 pound version. And I think it's very good line for fishing in a place that you're going to have weed, because there's no shock leader not on it, obviously. But can't tell you. I'm amazed by the lack of flounders here, though. Thought I might pick up a few flounders for the camera. Used to be a spot where you were always guaranteed some big flounders. Yeah, the porgies, I've never heard of anyone catching one in Tralee Bay. I'm obviously open to correction there. I know the lads, I think Anthony Lynch is his name, the good bit. So it did, and he eventually got stuck in around a string of lobster pots, and he snapped off. But he got a good towing around the bay on the small boat by the porgy. So he did. Got a few of these lugs again. So I'm going to put a good few lugs on this bottom hook. See if we can't tempt a bass or something as it passes by. Yep, that's that bait up again. Well, can you imagine getting a porgy off the shore or even in a small boat? You should want to have the clean underpants at home to change into. Well, that was almost 100% inside in weeds. But what can you do? Guys, I do have a nice bit of weight on here. I don't think it's a ray, but it'd be a shame for it to be one and miss it. I think it's most likely a bit of weed. Just a bit of weed. Only a bit of weed, but it would have been a shame if it was a fish not to have it. No joy there either. Like I said though, it would have been a fright to miss it. Yeah, I'll plop one in there now with a couple of crab baits and see if anything comes out of it. Definitely worth a try. Two good baits there, the big sandhill bait wiped out with the big crab bait, survived for a good while anyway. You know what, no matter what, it is nice to be out. I know there's a lot of guys struggling with not being able to get out, so it's nice to be able to have a bit of entertainment for you guys as well. But that guy that was lure fishing up above, he said he had one small bass. He had a really positive bite off of it, but only a small guy. I think it was the fish minnow he was using. So it was. So, let's get better there. Would certainly be nice to save the session with a fish, so it would. James, you're going to get a good laugh out of this now. I changed the line on my spool, and all new line, everything. I said, you know what, I'm not going to have that be the reason. So what I did then, I came out the last day in the howling wind, took the fixed spool out, lifted over the bail arm, and the whole lot just reeled out on me. So I lost about 60 yards of line. So if you look at my spool, even though that was only sub 100 yards, maybe 100, I don't have much line left on my spool, so I can't really wind up and make a show of myself, thankfully. But there's a couple of new reels on the way, and there's some massive. So I have some massive news coming in the next week or so. So I have to keep an eye out for that. I can't say nothing yet, obviously. Get myself in trouble otherwise. Dr. Gonzo, a few bass. Kieran, the reason I'm using so many rods is I'm fishing for a ray. Sorry, on the right-sided one, I'm fishing with just a couple of fish, a couple of smaller hooks. And the idea being that I'll be able to get a few fish for the camera. Usually I only use one rod when I'm pleasure fishing, because I don't like running around. I'd rather fish one rod properly. Oh, I can't, Michael, man. I don't want to do anything stupid, but it's a really big thing for me anyway. That's for sure. It's not anything super serious. It's fishing related. Otherwise, it's not babies or anything like that. Just in case someone gets a heart attack. But it's a fishing related, but it's massive news on the fishing side of things for me. So I'm really excited about that. But the other thing that I'm excited about is getting that big mackerel bait out there. You know how some guys are really good at some things and other guys are really bad at it. I'm really bad for losing my trace as I'm fishing. I'm putting that down now. I have no idea where. So I'm going to have to go looking for that. So, I'll get this crab on first though. Now I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put on one big crab bait on the bottom hook, and I'm going to take off the rig at the top. So it's going to go back to just an up and over pennel. This will get me a bit extra distance, and hopefully there's a fish out there for us. We deserve it. I fully think we deserve it anyway. I'm also not going to leave that out too long, the left rod here, because we're seeing the fish baits are destroyed almost immediately. So take that one off. Over there. Put it to the side. Go find that other trace that was down from there. But that's what we're ending up with coming back in. Mackerel skin only. So just for a bit of messing, what I'm going to do here is I don't have a whole pile of lugs left, so we're going to stick out all these lugs and see if there are bass swimming by. If not a bass, probably choke a few crabs along the way maybe. So what we're going to do is we have a double lug bait, but I have 7 or 8 lugs left over. So what I do is I don't know. Right, I'm gonna do this first and I get back to that because I don't really know what. So I'm gonna put on a few lugs, but I'm gonna hook them as if they're going on upside down. So you can see the hook, head, and just a loop. And I'll show you now why. Spin him around. No. So this is what we've ended up with. about 6 lugs on that. And we're just going to put it in this side of that bank. See if there's any bass running in outside the dirty water and inside that bank that we got stuck in. Let's see if I can get this one back. Celebrations can start again. A little flatty. Let's get it down here. So now what we're going to do is swap there now. William, yeah, I should really do that. But what I find is when I stick the used one on, I almost always get caught in the rig that I'm using or going to use next, which is very unprofessional looking. But I try to drop it really close to the actual stand so that I don't lose it too often. I don't lose it permanently, I should say. Now, this is the mega one. I did think there was a small bass on that as well, but I didn't land him. But it might mean there's a few fish starting to show. Right, this little flounder. Oh. I'll show you the little trick for getting him off. He took the big lug bait. So far in a crab dominated venue, lug has been the main capture. How do I move this? I'll have to just do this. So, little flounder, about 30 centimeters, slightly under maybe. Keep it up to the top of the mouth, wrap it around, locate your hook, put it back in, up to the top of the mouth again, around your hook. Just like that. Lovely little flounder. Back to fight another day. So, flounder and 2 bass. nowhere near the session that I had hoped for. Keith, night one. I saw a few, I see a few serious pictures by you with the bass. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to move the truck. Oh, I'm starting to lose my battery. I'm going to move the truck, but I'm going to put you guys here. And let you watch the old, watch the rods. Up, you can see them. A little handy job done there. But yeah, man, I'd like to get a couple of more fish. That little flounder now has boosted the confidence a small bit. How's the go, Jez, man? Not a whole pile, but not too bad either. A few rays and few stuff. I'll get those rods over now just in front of the exit. Probably the battery's nearly dead, so if I go randomly, it's because the battery died, not because anything sinister has happened. Hopefully. I'm gonna get that crab bait over there so I can do you see that right? Yeah. You can see the water's turned a bit kind of chalky looking from descending closer. Bit of a hill to climb here. Like I said, my there isn't too much left on the battery of the phone. So I'm trying to knock out another big bait here on the multiplier and see how that goes. Let's use that one, I suppose. Really would like to get a ray for the stream for everybody that's watching. It doesn't look 30 seconds and the phone's going to be dead. So I'm going to sign out and say thanks very much, lads, and keep an eye on the pages and don't forget to hit the notifications. My phone is going to die on me here. I've got the critically low warning.